Hello, welcome to Popalong RC, the RC car channel dedicated to RC car racing and the age-old debate. Are they a bender or are they just better than you?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, actually.
Well, I thought, because we complain, we've had a whinge about benders a few times. We might have mentioned it on the channel a few times in the past. But we also recognise we're not the best drivers in the world, are we? We do all right.
We do all right. We do okay. We do all right. We don't do it enough. We've got too many classes. I mean, I could list 101 excuses at the end of the day. But yeah, we could be better, but we ain't. But we enjoy it, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
Now, earlier on this year, you spent a lot of time and a lot of money on your TT01, and I'm going to link the video down below, because if you have a TT01 and you would like to know how to not necessarily bend the rules, but literally every single hop up you can do to that TT01 at the Icons Cup, you've done it.
I have, but then again, when we were there, I was looking at some of the better drivers' cars, and they've gone one step further than me.
They have gone a little bit further than you.
There's other things you can do.
There are other things you can do, but you've done quite a lot to those, and if you want pretty much a good guide of how to set up a TT01, that is a very, very good video. But we have debated it very, very often that people are cheating or their cars are too fast. And I thought what I'd do is I'd analyse some footage.
Analyse the footage?
Yeah. So we did a video recently over at DMS, the slow motion analysis of your car.
Yeah.
And it was very popular. So I thought I'll have another go at that. But I've gone even deeper into it. What I've done is I've taken an A3 qualifier, one of the fast guys, and you, I think, qualified A7. However, he lapped you.
Yeah.
So you're an A finalist. Out of 30 drivers, you were the 7th best. But those top 3 or 4 were still lapping you.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else was kind of quite close together. So I thought what might be quite interesting, analyse the laps of you and them and see where they're actually making up the difference.
Sounds good to me.
Let's take a look. Okay, so this is lap 1, and here we have the leader in Mark's heat, and we're going to follow him for 1 lap and see whereabouts he is making up time on Mark, because on the following lap I am going to follow Mark around, and then I'm going to overlap the 2 videos to see exactly where he comes. So there's 1 lap. So here we go. At the top we have Mark, and at the bottom we have Spencer, who is actually qualified A3 today. Already you can see that he's up on Mark on this lap. But where exactly is he making up the time? I was actually quite blown away by just how far ahead he was over just 1 lap. And as you can see there, we're talking a good 20 metres on 1 lap. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to run it slightly slower so we can actually see where he makes up this time. Now Mark, we talked about this on the day actually, was going wide around that first turn, which lost him quite a bit of time. So as you can see here, as we come into this switchback, Mark has already dropped off the pace. So as we come through to the halfway point of the track and into this midsection, he's already dropped down probably about 5, maybe 6 metres, that little section there, before the switchback. Watching Mark's car go round this section, he actually looks pretty quick, and he looks like he's carrying some good speed through this section. But the damage is already done, and as you can see, as they come out onto the straight, that is a significant distance between the 2 cars. That's just 1 lap. Now, if you can repeat that same distance lap after lap after lap, that's how cars get lapped. Now, Mark's no slouch. He also made the A final at this competition. So therefore, it's quite impressive. So that's the difference between the podium and Mark. But I thought it'd be interesting to actually look at this from a different perspective. So Obviously, we could see that Mark lost quite a bit of time in the first half of the lap. But what I'd like to do now is actually look at the second half of the lap. So I've started the two cars at the middle apex, and you see Mark again at the top, and the A3 pace, or Spencer, is at the bottom. So if we run this video through, we can actually see that Mark is actually ahead coming through this little section here. Extends his lead coming into here, but runs really wide out of the last turn, which allows the other car to come through, and again making up probably about 3 meters basically in the last turn. So again, we'll watch this in slow motion so we can actually see where he's picking up the pace. So they're quite on similar lines through there, but Mark is definitely up coming through that section. Again, similar lines through there. Mark gets a nice tight turn here, which means he's up as he hits this section here. He's up probably by 1 meter or so, but Spencer rides the curb before the D, whereas Mark sort of checks his speed and ends up going a little bit wide, whilst Spencer comes a lot tighter. And again, yeah, all of that was done out of the exit of the last turn. But I can hear you guys screaming, he must be cheating, or his car's faster than Mark's. And I thought what I'd do is I'd double check that. So what I've done is I found this clip here where the two cars are about the same place on the track. As you can see there, they're both just coming past the number 7 on the grid. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run this forward up the track and see how much distance he gains on the straight. So by this point, both cars are going to be on full throttle, and let's see the difference it makes. They're running pretty even, to be fair, and when we get to the finish line, they're reaching the finish line almost the same time. I think Mark is probably about a car length slower through that little section, but top speed, there is not much in it. So where that time was gained on that first part of the lap, it is all down to the line around that big sweeper. Now that big sweeper, Mark was probably 2 meters off the inside curb, so over the whole length he dropped back quite a bit. I've actually found making this video quite interesting, and actually looking at where Mark can pick up time is sort of teaching me how I can pick up time in my own racing.
So, what do you think of that then?
It's interesting, very very interesting. I think the thing is with those cars, because they're looking at that, I think you have to hold speed with those stock classes, because they're not like it's not brushless tech where the power is instant. So I think what he done really really well is managed to carry more speed than I did, and that purely takes more expertise, which I frankly haven't got. So
And I
well
think
done to
the
him.
consistency of doing that lap after lap after lap, that's how they managed to lap you. It's just the consistency as well. Yeah. But it was something we noticed a little bit earlier on in the day, about how much time you were losing around that first sweeper. And by the final, you did tidy it up a little bit.
Yeah. So having spoken to Spencer, he was saying he's a regular down there.
Or he was when he was younger. He grew up there, didn't he?
Yeah, so again, that of course that helps, if you can get down there a lot. But great driver, really, really talented driver. And the Iconic Cup,
it does attract some amazing drivers.
Yeah.
Equally though, it was nice to see some new drivers there. And again, for those new drivers, hopefully you've learned something from this video. And if you want us to do more videos like this, please comment down below. We really appreciate it when you guys get involved in the comments. Feedback welcome. If there's anything you disagree with or you want us to change, let us know. We'll do our best, won't we, boss?
We will do our best.
It's all we can do. It's all we can do.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to the next round in a couple of weeks. That's going to be really, really good. At South Hants, another track we've not been to. We're not going to do practice day, so we're going to go in completely cold.
You say that a couple of weeks. By the time this video goes out, it might be tomorrow.
Cool, it might be, mightn't it?
I might be racing this again tomorrow.
Yes, very, very
I might take that tomorrow.
Why
in
not?
fact, there was lots of people asking about this shell because they wanted to see it in person. So I'm going to take that with me as well this time. But this is the one I'm going to be running. Can't wait.
Fair enough.